Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel here today. Today we're here for two more episodes of Mushi-Shi, episodes 10 and 11. Very excited to be here. Please look forward to watching two more here with me on this Saturday night. So yeah, a little bit of a later recording. I'm recording this at about 10 o'clock currently, so felt like recording. A little bit of a night owl kind of thing going on. I don't know, words. Listen, if I go over here, I have no YouTube comments, so I'm trying to make an intro kind of out of nothing. Oh, I do have something to say though. So next week, and probably specifically for patrons, there's probably not going to be a video. Probably. If there is one, it's going to be one episode and it will probably be on the shorter side. I.e., if that's not okay for some reason, if it's a two-parter, please let me know. I have family commitment stuff. I actually took time off work for it too, which is insane. I never take time off work for anything. So it's actually pretty important in the grand scheme of things, I guess. So yeah, just keep an eye out next week. There mightn't be a video. Yeah, I'll kind of be out of commission for 3 days. So please keep me informed. I love to be informed, of course. I also love to be informed about the Patreon, the patrons, and everything else going on there. It's linked in the description below if you want next week's video 1 week early, albeit there mightn't be a video there, we will see. Yeah, it's linked in the description below. Either way, it's you guys' prerogative, as I'm sure you already know. Many people have accessed it, such as Mickey Bebbers, AF, AJ, Banana Ram Hamadama Sama, BD422, Bisa, Blue Sky, Capella, Chuba Ribby, Copley, Dapper Dwarf, Ed, Fancy Question Mark, Fleur Nightingale, Fruit, Gloriana Tenebrae, Glyke, Gus N, Hans Peter, Ika, Iwayuru, Yako Yavnen, Jami Boo, Joran, Kasogtha, Clem, Nosta, Kot Begemot, Lick H, Lou, Miru, Mistake L Chen, Molly Weinberger, Mr. Maniacs, Parnick, Pencil Shop 333, Run Lad B&K, St. Lily, Sal, Sam1373, Skeleton, Tentacle Member, Wife Overdose, Without a Net, Yuki Ali, Akomancer, Binshi, Kelvin, Fudu Chili, Greybeard, Hibiki Tachibana, Marco-san, Matthew Bratcher, and Vibrant Weaver. Thank you to everybody for giving me money. I enjoy the money. As always, Mushishi is an episodic show. It is hard to set up additional episodes. I guess we had some hints here and there about some Ginkgo stuff, i.e. my broad theory that he's had one of these seeds before and is kind of immortal. That's my read on it anyway. That was... Why else would he know about the taboo? Why else would he describe it as a taboo if he hadn't kind of did it himself already? I don't know. Maybe I'm off base there, but that's kind of my theory. Just, yeah, general other theme of the show stuff like, hey, embracing the Mushi, not embracing the Mushi. Is it a sickness? Is it a cure? Continuing to live, kind of prioritizing living and moving on and continuing despite, as, instead of dying. It's kind of been the theme there. So I'm imagining those kind of ideas are going to continue here into episode 10. Let's not beat around the bush. Let's just jump into it, shall we? Radio episode 10 up there, ready to go. 23 minutes and 38 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly with your own copy. I have the psych version. Get that version if you want my version. If not, there's a picture-in-picture version in the description below for your viewing pleasure. Let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Radio, 3, 2, 1, go. And suddenly we're back in Mushishi. And I've also remembered to switch over my audio track and subtitles once again. Very cool. Every time. And I know I could fix it. I'm just lazy. Shut up. Ooh. Itchy nose today, so please excuse me. Also a little bit of... Hang on, just slightly uncomfortable in my ears. These headphones are quite tight. Which I, again, probably could fix, but choose not to. More like Fartland. I don't know, we're having fun. I need to get into the Mushi-Shi mood. I'm a little bit mischievous at the moment, I guess. But this show does do a good job of calming me down, so let's Let's let it do its thing. That's nice. Prison? Doctor? There most certainly is. Adashino? The kids are breaking in? What you got? Little plate or something. An inkstone, there you go. The episode's namesake. As you can see here with the titles coming up. The white which still lives within the inkstone. Don't know why I said still, but sure. Sensei? What has happened? Yeah, it's our boy. It did look like his place. Interesting. Ooh, snow. Or like, kind of like beanbag little things. There we go. Let's get our mate Ginkgo here to go have a look. I don't know how we're going to contact him, but sure. There he is. Speak of the devil. Behind you. That's insane. Imagine having to drink hot water. Interesting. So another different collector brought it to you. Well, I mean, how are you supposed to know they would go into the forbidden storage shed? Okay, we're like, got the microscope out now. Rub an ink stick on it. This is a flashback within a flashback at the moment. Ugh, I don't like that thing either. That's probably not advisable. I'm a little bit stuck on what an inkstone is and an ink stick. I guess I'll find out in time. Too old for my blood. Cursed inkstone. Oh, interesting. So that's going to be the journey. Oh, just a little bit of care. I liked that. Okay. It's an interesting setup thus far. I'm not really sure what to think of it. Mm-hmm. Something weird's going on. Which I guess isn't exactly, you know, an out there prediction. Hello? Who are you? She seems pretty chill. What is happening? How did it get lost? How does one make an inkstone? There's probably another one we've seen a lot, like losing a partner, kind of pulled apart by family circumstance or career, or then a partner dying as a result. Mm. However, it was more rock than Mushi. I'd advise against it, but you know, there it is. The cold gas. Wait, she got a bit though. And you were the only one that saw it. Yeah, okay. Let me die in about a month. But it's now killed everybody. That's insane. And then it ended up without a Shino. Cursed. All this is great, but to what end? What kind of Mushi is it? How do we resolve things now? Over to you, Ginkgo. Alright, he seems to be on the right track. I mean, as long as you can accomplish what you need to accomplish without a Genko, I don't think that you would care. Yeah. It's cold as shit here right now, too. I'm kind of feeling you, buddy. 100%. He's really cut up about this. Adashino. That's interesting. What's up? Where are we in the... Yeah, okay, still a fair bit. I'd like to know more about this Mushi. Cloud to eat. Interesting. Yeah. So it was kind of a fossil in a weird way. That's why the water was the crucial element there too. Huh. Oh. Interesting. Yeah, the mountain's a crucial element of the story there then. Okay, interesting. How are we going to get a bunch of sick kids up a mountain? Oh yeah, just piggyback them up. Why not? Do we bring a thermos? It's no fun hiking at the best of times. I don't want to do it with sick children. Well, can you see more of a hill? Then we have to keep going. Well, even he's got a bit of sweat going. It's a hard little track. Huh. We're letting it like pass into the sky. Sick. This kind of reminds me of when episode 2, all the water coming out of her eyes. That's me on a cold day when I'm kind of blowing out hot air and it's all condensated and stuff. It's kind of what I feel like. That's a big fucking cloud, dude. Oh, yeah, she's fucking way better. Easy. Well, all's well that ends well, but we've still got like 5 minutes left. Okay, air pressure. Okay, I believe you. I don't understand air pressure enough to not believe you. Interesting. Um, yeah. This is a weird episode, huh? And yeah, she can see them, which is interesting too. So did everybody see that time? Maybe. Huh. Where are we now? I agree. Just because we know about this one now doesn't mean any of the other ones we kind of safe. We probably shouldn't kill it, destroy it. Is there a way to integrate it and kind of separate it from its like just spot in the shed? It is my masterpiece. I put a lot of effort into it, but it kind of almost tried to kill people. It did kill people. How the fuck do you do that? Drag him. Yeah, just use it as a normal inkstone. Come on now. Instead of a haunted heirloom. Do we do like a little like ritual or like a ceremony or? Oh yeah, look at the pattern. The pattern is cool. I'd cover my ears too. I don't want to get in nowhere. Otherwise, it's back up the mountain again. I don't want to do that. But a lot of weather too. Rainbows, a lot of rain, a lot of water. Clouds are kind of water too. Ooh, random snowstorm. An eons old snowstorm. Or hail, whatever you. Anyway. Ah, but my property. What? No, I wouldn't eat it. Don't eat snow, especially yellow snow. My family's legacy. Okay, so still not fully healed, but that's okay. Well, it's only been loading for, yeah, once again, thousands of years. Might be up to our eyeballs in hail. Really? I don't know about that episode, man. That was kind of... I mean, the Mushi was cool. I like that it hailed and stuff, but I guess it just didn't have the next element to it. It was just kind of very straightforward. It was Mushi did thing. We stopped Mushi doing thing. The science and stuff was cool. Once again, I'm like, okay, I like the adding of the water and the kind of friction there, making the cloud and the kind of cooling of the internal, and taking your own kind of life force and own kind of liquid and life and all that kind of stuff and turning it into like a self-generating cold machine thing. All great. I'm just waiting for the next, like, whoa, this is what it's actually about. I guess I should mention there's been quite a few YouTube comments that are like, oh yeah, the rainbow one was clearly about drugs, and the living god one was also clearly about drugs. And I'm like, yeah, that's like a pretty obvious take. I guess I'm failing to see, again, that other level to this one right here at this time. I don't know, maybe a little bit more depth will reveal itself, but that seemed like a pretty bog standard episode of Mushishi, I guess. I don't know. Not a lot of elevation, which is one of my favorite words. But anyway, they can't all be tens, I guess. But either way, let's jump into the next episode, shall we? Episode 11. Let's go right in. Radio, next episode. Up there, ready to go. 23 minutes and 39 seconds on this one. Sync up accordingly with your own copy. I have the psych version. However, there's also a picture-in-picture version in the description below. Same old stuff. Let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Radio, 3, 2, 1. Go. Indeed. That episode made me kind of hungry, which I don't know if that's the best idea at this time of night, but anyway. That'll be an interesting one. We're kind of approaching almost the end of a core. I wonder if this is the kind of show that would have multiple openings. Could be something. I don't know. Maybe this is a weird question too, but is Mushishi done? Because I know that there's like a couple seasons and some movies or something. Are we like good? Is that like the end or? I think it is off the top of my head, but can't say I'm sure. That mountain has a hole in it? Indeed. It's more than that. It looks unnatural. Like it's perfectly like geometrical. Oh, okay. Now even more questions. The Sleeping Mountain, of course. Little persimmon or something. Mushika? Bandori? I don't know if we should trust the Mushishi. Hello, Chief? Oh, Santa Claus. Another Mushishi. This is interesting. Is now harvest time? Huh. Oh, beautiful background. Okay, where's this Mujika now? Oh, yeah, look at it. Holy shit. Very, autumnal. Oh, yeah, for the fruit. Duh. Okay. Bewildered is a great word. Yeah, can we meet with this person? Uh, you're not the Mushishi, are you? Okay, no. Oh, apprentice. The Mushishi's apprentice. Well, I'm fucking stimulated. Absolutely. 100%. Barefoot? Corky? Mukuranori. Oh, what the fuck? He's got tech. What the hell? Yo. Ginkgo, you dog. Ugh. Okay. Nah, I'm out. Seen the swamp episodes of Avatar: The Last Airbender? Kind of giving me that a little bit. Ooh. Interesting. He almost like counterspelled you. He told you to fuck off. There's some weird goings on. Oh! Oh! That's the hat he was wearing. He's got little plants coming out of his hat. Well, what are the Guardian's wishes? Yeah, let's talk a big Mushishi game. I like this character archetype of kind of the old master. Well, that's why you got an apprentice, right? Hmm. What does it mean to be a guardian? What was the guardian? Or the previous guardian? Ugh. Tabi? And then he will become the mountain. Don't be weird, dude. Oh. So he's like an orphan. Well, not an orphan, but like the mountain's his foster parent. Yeah. Great question. Answer it. Okay. I really like this. I'm a little bit jealous of you too, probably. I don't know. I have nowhere I can truly call home, you know, to lay down my roots. Well, he's pretty old, I don't know. Hmm. Thanks, boss. There's this pull for that character Kodama between like the Mushishi side and the cool shot and like the regular side, I guess. Yeah, what is this ominous bell approaching? Interesting. Well, probably is, yes. It always is with this show. Interesting. This mountain's a fucking weirdo. Well, you're clearly lying. Okay. Back up the mountain. Did the kid buy that, or? Yeah, I had a feeling that he didn't buy your little lie. Well, that'll make things interesting here, won't it? The bells. For whom the bell tolls. That's kind of hype. I like this one. I have a lot of questions. Kuchinawa? What are we, Monogatari? Huh. Interesting. Whoa! Yo. Princess Mononoke. That's gorgeous looking, by the way. What did you do? Kuchinawa is on his way? Yo. Interesting. Yeah, it's a little bit snake-like, eh? Mushika! This is sick, by the way. This is fucking cool as shit. Also themes to the show once again. Whoa, no! Mushika! What happened? Saved? Flashback? What's the old mate doing dancing over there? Huh. Very, very similar. Exact same lines. Oh, Saku. I see. It's almost like the curse of the Mushishi, no? Is that they attract Mushi. Whoa! Oh no. I see, no, you gave information to the wrong people. Gotcha. You're insane. She's like scary. It's like fucking horror visual novel vibes. I don't want Mountain Guardian Hot Pot. No, thank you. If she's not like this, I don't want her. This became like interconnected at that time. Look, like food chain stuff going on here. Yeah, no, he's done. Kuchinawa. He's a pretty good little apprentice. It's a really interesting place to leave things. Okay. But I mean, Kuchinawa is also just here now. Or the Kuchinawa, I guess I should say. Time to smoke. Yeah, I mean, we kind of fucked up, but, you know. That's tough. It's kind of atonement in a weird way. Oh, he was right. Yo, that's a big step too. There he is. That's the big boss. Now you show some respect. Fucking cool. It's like a dragon. That's a big fucking Mushi, dude. Interesting timing there. They must have, in the production of the episode, needed that extra like 30 seconds or so. That was cool. That was fucking cool. I need to look up Kuchinoa because obviously Again, you Monogatari freaks will know what I'm talking about, but there's a big white snake called Kuchinoa in that too, so maybe I've got to follow that lineage a little bit more. Yeah, again, themes of the show: choosing to die, choosing to live, what do we live for, atoning for sins. Kind of Mujika and Ginko are very similar characters. Lots of fun stuff. Yeah, very, very cool. Very mysterious too. The mountain. Very, very cool. One-eyed fish. As long as it's not a three-eyed fish, then it would be watching The Simpsons. Anyway. Yeah, kind of a episode 2 halves there. Not so hot, at least initially on that first episode, but that second one's pretty damn cool. So yeah, we'll be doing some unpacking probably tomorrow. It's getting really late now, so time to hit the hay maybe. And we're back. It's the next day. 2 more episodes of Mushi-Shi in the ledger. I'm pretty sure this is going to be the consensus on these 2 episodes. I think that one is a lot stronger than the other, no? I'm going to imagine bulk of my discussion is going to be around episode 11 as opposed to episode 10. Episode 10 to me right now, before rewatching it, feels a little bit ancillary, like you could cut it from the rest of the show and I'd be just fine. Again, that is with the context of only 11 episodes thus far. Maybe this set up some concept that'll come back later in a big way. I don't know. But it seems to be just a pretty standard episode of Mushishi. And again, the show's at a general high quality. That there's nothing wrong with that. There's a little bit of intrigue and a little bit of tension around the death of some kids. I like how it links into this kind of general water of life concept with the water vapor mushi that we have going on. Again, the threat there is cool. I like somebody, well, pardon the pun, I like somebody continuously cooling down as kind of a ticking time for the plot. The lady character, she's alright, I guess. She's okay. It's just kind of there. It's just kind of fine. But again, maybe that's just in comparison to episode 11, which I think is quite strong. It has all the interesting things going on in some of the past kind of Mushishi episodes that we've seen. It's a conflict that, doesn't end the way we would want it to end. It doesn't kind of give us that kind of satisfying ending that something like episode 10 did, right? We meet another character that is a nice mirror for Ginko. That's happened in a couple of my favorite episodes thus far too, like the Rainbow one. We meet a character that kind of challenges Ginko on some things, right? Challenges his wandering way of life and kind of almost tries to seek some extra information out of him about it almost. We have the I guess the reveal of why Mujika is doing what he is doing, right? And why he's almost like atoning and like doing his penance for what he perceives as a crime against, the land and whatnot. And that his ultimate sacrifice is something that is almost like, shit, I don't know if I had another answer other than him sacrificing himself, That scene with the snake atop the mountain now just kind of resting and nobody else can see it and only Ginko can see it. And it's this like really heavy kind of weight upon kind of the whole episode and what has happened thus far and almost like his journey. I find that like one of the most kind of like epic scenes in the show thus far, and it's really quite poignant. I really liked it, and it kind of gets to, now that we've had a few of these, right, a few episodes that kind of have had poorer endings, it's kind of really getting across this theme from the rest of the show in a really strong way of, hey, despite whatever else is happening, you need to move forward, you need to continue on your journey. You can't just be kind of holed up in one place. You can't be focusing on one thing. You can't let just one thing overbear on your life like that. You just got to move forward. So Ginko will go someplace, something good will happen. Keeps moving forward. He'll go another place, something bad happens. Keep moving forward. That's kind of what he's doing, and it's really cool. It's a grand metaphor for life, right? Sometimes life gets you down. Sometimes life picks you up. It keeps on going regardless. Time marches forward, of course, and Ginko marches forward too. Yeah, quite poignant. Really, really love that kind of overall concept from the show now. Either way, we're going to go into episode 10 here once again with an open mind and try to find some things. But again, to my knowledge, not a lot in it. But I don't know. Maybe it comes back later. You never know. First step. What is an inkstone? I would imagine, without Googling first, that an inkstone is a stone where you kind of like carve a little pit in it, right? And then you would pour based on the material and the mineral used in the inkstone, you'd pour a little bit of water and rub it, try to get a bit of that kind of material out, and then you'd put it on the end of a brush or something and do calligraphy or do writing, something like that. That kind of calligraphy and writing theme almost goes all the way back to episode 1 too, with the kind of the mushi that kind of generated from the words written down. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I'll Google now and I'll say, yep, that's what because I'm pretty sure I'm right. Oh no, okay, the thing we're rubbing. The thing we're rubbing is like the mineral that makes the ink as dark as it is. Gotcha. This is merely just a stone that's kind of like a good shape for like carving and like getting the pit in it and stuff. All right. You learn something new every day, I guess. Now, I don't know if I'm a Dumbo, but this is obviously Adashino, right? And this would be the same village from, again, like episode 5 or whatever it was, the one with the traveling swamp. This doesn't look like the same village to me. Is that purposeful? Or am I just being a Dumbo? I don't know. I kind of like it if it was like a different village every time. I feel like that's quite poignant and thematic as well. It's like, you know, the location itself is almost changing and bending to the whim of the story, and you know, there's a real kind of spiritualism to that these characters are left behind rather than the land itself, which is always changing. Or I'm just being dumb. I don't know, it's one of the two. We get to see a different kind of side of Adashino here, which I do enjoy. He's a little bit more like genuinely worried and kind of, you know, out of his depth, and is really appreciative of Ginkgo, where he was kind of sassy before. It was kind of like, yeah, I'll give you this task to do in exchange for something else. It wasn't like him begging and pleading. I don't know, it's nice to see him genuinely care. It's cool. There's a nice bit of intrigue here early where she, you know, I guess I should take a step back before I say that. They're really cold. They're going to continue to get really cold because they inhaled the wrong thing from the inkstone when they tried to use it. Fair enough. Cool. It's got an association to snow and hail and weather effects and clouds and stuff. So when she goes to speak and she's feeling really cold, you know, a little bit of hail comes out. It's a nice little bit of, you know, oh, that's interesting, and it makes perfect sense now that we've seen the rest of the episode. So question, Adashino, obviously, he gets told about the Inkstone and now needs Ginkgo, or at least like a Mushishi's help. How does he notify him? Is this a stupid question? Like, how does he know to come? There's no mobile phones. There's no phones in general. There's not even really, like, traditional, like, overbearing mail system that you could kind of try to get at him at. I get maybe it's a spiritual link, a spiritual connection, sure. I guess. I don't know, maybe Ginkgo is just wandering by as well. But no, he comes in like he had been requested. I don't know. Maybe there's a Mushi-Shi hotline or something that you can contact. So we get a bit of context here. Adashino got this inkstone from a collector. We can backfill that later on when we learn that it kind of hits the black market and gets this kind of cursed reputation to it. The other thing would be mentioning a fossilized Mushi, which is kind of actually what's happening, even if not in the way we understand fossils. Yeah, we'll circle back around to that when we get the lines later on. There's a small scolding here from Ginkgo to Adashino as well, which, I don't know, I feel like there's... Ginkgo hardly ever calls people out, so when he does, it kind of hits a little bit harder. Yeah, it's essentially, hey, with great power comes great responsibility. If you're going to collect these kind of things, these items, these things that you're interested in, then you better keep a better lock and key on it because you could hurt the people around you, right? You have a power here. If you're going to use that power, protect the others around you. Protect the weaker ones. I guess this is the other part that's a little bit odd to me. What kind of kids break into Adashino's crazy storage shed with like a bunch of like dead snakes and animals and stuff and are like, oh, fuck yeah, time to play with the stationery. Like, that just doesn't hit me as something like the kids would do. I don't know. I'd feel kind of pissed off if I was Adashino. What do you mean you played with that and not anything else that's actually fun? I don't know, I feel like you could write the episode a little bit more stronger, in a more concrete way, if you were to just switch out the inkstone for something else, something a little bit more fun for kids to use. It would, you know, make a little bit more sense. From there, the legend of the inkstone grows a little bit more. It's said that everybody that had used it previously had died. And again, in that same way, they inhale that cloud. It kind of almost like continues to generate in the lungs and cool down the whole system before the patient just dies. It's kind of how it goes. From there, one of our last resorts is to go find the owner of said inkstone. There's a kind of character on the back. Obviously, Ginkgo's going to go figure out who that is now. Just a small moment here I wanted to highlight. Just, hey, Adashino's genuinely feeling kind of fucking terrible here, right? You know, I really care about the people around me. I care about this community. I want to do them a service. So when me being here is the direct result of some of them feeling worse and potentially dying, then obviously he's feeling it. And again, he's normally a jovial kind of fella. We can kind of tell that he's really feeling it as well. He doesn't seem like himself. And Ginkgo, always a little bit understated, maybe a little bit tsundere. Just one hand on the back, just shows that he cares. I don't know, I found it really heartwarming. And just actually read the situation really well there, I feel, Ginkgo. Now listen, I'd never change the type of show that Mushi-Shi is, but the pace is it's kind of crazy, no? We take like a minute here between this kind of conversation with Adashino before we come up to the story starting again. It's like a full minute of Ginkgo just kind of traveling and finding the person that made the inkstone. In kind of interstitially there, he finds another person of the town and asks around, I guess. It's a nice little bit of investigation to it. I don't know, it's just very slowly paced in an episode that I don't think is overly interesting. We'll call it deliberate. We'll continue to call it deliberate for sure. And it's nice to live in this world. Again, the connection to the land in the show is very important, but just a teensy bit faster would be nice. Compared to like a really fastly paced show like Symphogear or something, you're gonna like lose your mind. Either way, Lady makes the inkstones. She immediately recognizes this one, and when we say that some kids are in trouble, she thanks us for coming and bringing it back to her. Obviously, now we frame the episode in a bit of a flashback, right? We see what she's all about and the backstory and how the inkstone came to be. Again, a structure that shouldn't be unfamiliar to anybody that's seen Mushishi up to this point. We do it quite a bit. So here's the deal. She's from a long line of inkstone making family people guys, right? Dad's fallen ill, so okay, time for me to pick up the family trade. There's also my fiance. He lives in a town kind of over the mountain, the next town over. I guess this gives the episode a little bit more oomph, is the cultural context as well. The fiance's family doesn't want her to overtake the business. That's also shorthand for, hey, we just want you to kind of integrate into our family and go with whatever the fiance is doing for his job, right? And kind of housewife it up. No, she'd rather actually work and, earn some money and have a little bit of status herself, and also continue on her own family's lineage with a, ill father and whatnot. I don't know. It's you go girl, that kind of stuff. I don't know. Don't just fall into traditional trappings for what's expected and whatnot. And I guess that's the emotional significance of the episode, is that now spurs her to want to make the best inkstone possible to prove to his fiance's family that this is worth doing, that, that our kind of family business, our family kind of, craft is kind of worth continuing, and I have a talent for it. Prove my own worth, prove the worth of my family, get my in-laws' approval. It's all kind of built into this, and why she goes to such lengths to create such a thing. And again, when it turns sour because of the Mushi, because of the particular rock she picked, it's all the more tragic. Because again, she was trying to do something quite noble. So then in her efforts, she finds the best rock possible that she excavated to make this inkstone out of, and it's quite exquisite. It looks quite nice. And obviously Dad and her are testing it out now, but a weird, unexplainable cloud is forming from rubbing it, which is odd. For some reason, she's the only one that could see it as well. So that's weird, right? Because why does everybody see the clouds at the end, then? It's understandable if Ginkgo saw the clouds, but everybody was reacting to them. Is everybody there able to see the Mushi? Is it because of their closeness? Are we just kind of playing fast and loose with it? I guess. It was a weird one in the moment. Now, crucial step here. So she inhaled some of that cloud. Bad. She would start to feel cold and sick very quickly. She immediately basically takes that inkstone and takes it over to his or her fiance's family. That involves a trip over the mountain, the air pressure there becoming a crucial element of surviving the Mushi. And yeah, then the tragedy hits, right? We saw the cloud before, that was all very odd, but now we've given the inkstone over to the fiancé. He's going to try it out. He's going to try and show his family how good the craft is. We're probably going to give it a go. He inhales the smoke in the process, or the cloud, I guess, and he dies. Instead of getting a letter of, yeah, you convinced them or whatnot, we get a letter that he fucking died. That's kind of tragic. From there, the parents sell the inkstone to an antique store. Then it moves about, other people buying it, people dying, it getting this reputation of being cursed. After that, Dad passed from unrelated illnesses, and I've stopped making inkstones since. I almost feel like I can't continue the legacy with things as they are, especially with strange rumors of my best creation going around killing people. That's no good, right? So after my father's death, I feel like I've brought disgrace to the family. My fiance fucking died. It's all just going pretty damn badly. However, Ginkgo has an idea of what it is. We go into explaining what the Mushi is here, but just filling in a few other scenes that were kind of, I guess, necessary, but a little bit ancillary in kind of this format. Yeah, she's chosen to come along. She wants to destroy the creation. She wants to put a nice little neat bit of closure on it. We also have Adashino continuing to lament his whole "with great power comes great responsibility" type thing. But we're here. We're feeling confident. We're putting together a bit of a plan, and we're explaining what the Mushi is. It's a Kumohame. So this is a Mushi that eats clouds, like their namesake, right? In other words, the water and ice in the atmosphere, and makes it rain down snow and hail. That's why sometimes you may see hail fall at when there isn't a cloud visible to be creating said hail. Sure. Anyway, there's a scientific explanation for that, but I like the spirit. Anyway, it eats away at moisture and makes things colder. Hence the, moisture, life, corky, all in your body, all that kind of stuff. It's like feeding upon that and making everything colder. That makes sense to me. It follows pretty logically. However, if this Mushi is left alone for a long time, it almost becomes suspended and then falls to the ground. Must have turned into stone after eons. Funnily enough, that was the stone that was picked to make the inkstone. It's a thing that we pour water on and then rub and, get a reaction out of it. Of course, it's going to it just makes perfect sense. And yeah, from there, as I mentioned before, air pressure becomes an important factor. Remember that Tagane, which is her name, climbed a mountain, went over a mountain in kind of, traveling. That was an important step. It's time to take these kids up the mountain, change the air pressure, and see what happens. And no time to waste here. Kids straight into the backpacks, and we're walking up this mountain early the next morning, giving them hot water along the way, trying to keep them warm. It may seem counterintuitive having them outside at this time and climbing a mountain. It's going to get pretty cold, going to get pretty windy, but it will benefit them in the end. Ginkgo's taking a pretty big risk here too. Adashino's clearly feeling it, like the kids are getting sicker and sicker. We're not liking that we have to take them up the mountain. Again, as I said, counterintuitive. It's like, hey, Ginkgo, you better be right. There's a real seriousness to Adashino here that I like. Again, showing his care. Like, you better be sure about this stuff, buddy, because otherwise, you're going to kill everybody. It's going to be terrible. And just as we start saying that, probably the biggest pop-off scene of the episode, I would say, where the clouds start to escape from, the children's mouths and ears and stuff. It's a pretty cool little moment. Once again, reminding me of the water coming out of the eyes from episode 2. Just this really supernatural phenomenon type thing. The Mushi working its magic. Showing that there is a science to it. Showing that they obey the laws of nature and have their own internal set of logic. It's just all working quite well. It's not airy-fairy. It's got some actual stuff behind it. And I like us going to the wide here and seeing all the kind of clouds escaping. Yeah, it's pretty. It's probably the scene you'll remember from the episode. Oh, and yeah, really subtle stuff on the coloring of the faces of the children as well. Like, obviously she looks better there compared to what they were previous. Like, it's just very pale. Yeah, I don't know. I like that. It seems like a detail that seems minor, but it's big. Like, you could just tell when a child's got their color back and is feeling better, and it's like this relief to it that I really like. I do like how the clouds are quite large now. It really feels like it's been feeding off the life force of the children, right? And has grown in stature from that. Like, the Mushi is, been warped and changed from its time inside the human body. And it resulting in this great kind of storm after the fact is really poignant too. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'll give you points. Once again, the emotional core of the episode is Tagane. I like how relieved she is after, I guess, this thing has been solved and we've figured out the reason why these people died. Like, again, she's probably internalizing this, like, to herself. Like, I've made this thing through my devotion to my craft and my devotion to my family's thing, then ended up killing my fiance, then ended up severing that relationship, and ended up killing a few other people as well. I feel deeply guilty for this, because I feel like there's some other weird supernatural thing going on that I must have been a part of. But now it's got an explanation. We have a reason. We can rationalize with it, and she likes that. Thank goodness. Thank goodness it wasn't entirely on me that everybody was dying. And thank goodness these kids are safe. Thank goodness it didn't add to the death toll. Probably, again, the best emotional moment of the episode. Just like overwhelming relief and an explanation for my fiance's death. From there, our ending scene is kind of a debate about what to do with the Inkstone now. Obviously, she wants to destroy it so nobody can be affected by it ever again, but Adeshino's paid a price for it. He's a collector. He would want to keep it around. He tries to justify keeping it around by saying that there's still a Mushi in there, and you don't want to be a Mushi murderer, do you? I think there's a very pointed line here about, well, that thing is like your child, right? You can't kill it because it has that kind of significance. And again, in a story with a fiance that dies, being the cause of the death, it's almost like this, like if the genders were swapped, you could see it a lot, right? Like, hey, I've created this thing, right? And in the creation of this new life, like the mother's passed away. It's kind of the opposite there where the father's passed away, right? It's like he's died during the birth of this thing, Just, kind of gender reverse it. It's a weirdly progressive episode. Ginkgo's very smart here. He comes up with the solution of just releasing the Mushi from the Inkstone itself. That way Adeshino still gets his Inkstone that he wants, and we get the closure of the whole Mushi story for Tagane. But he knows that Adeshino doesn't want it because it's a nice Inkstone. He wants it because it's got a Mushi and it's kind of weird and it's crazy and supernatural and stuff. So we essentially call him out. You think you stand for Mushi rights? Well, let's do the most humanitarian thing for the Mushi and leave you worse off. He's got him pulling his hair out. The serenity here of this scene is really nice as we finally release the Mushi on the shore. There's a real kind of tangible quality of the way she kind of rubs the Inkstone as well. Something that she's done many times before. Something that she may not have done for some time, considering that she's kind of quit the business and whatnot. Yeah, just this coming together of my kind of family lineage and all the baggage and everything in this final release, in this final kind of, cloud into the sky and the weather event resulting from that. That's significant. I like that quite a bit. I don't know, there's something to it. I was pretty uncharitable to this episode, but I don't know. Again, there's a general level of quality to a Mushishi episode that it's just surpassing, and it's just better than a lot of other things. So you can't ever be too mad, I guess. It's got aura for sure. The music's doing heavy lifting too. A few more good gags here at the end of the episode too, with the property damage and the, hey, you can start making more Inkstones now too. Adeshino saying that he doesn't mind if his has a Mushi in it. Hardy, huh? Yeah. And then a bit of quiet reflection of, hey, maybe I should start the business again. Maybe I should move on and whatnot. Looking up to the sky, thinking about her fiance, pretty squarely there, right? And saying, hey, I may need a little bit of time, but yeah, I am going to return to this. Again, themes of the show. Moving on, moving forward, not being stuck in the past. What has happened in the past has happened. We must move forward. So yeah, it was better than I thought. I don't know, I saw a few more things. I like Tagane's story a little bit more. It's coming together a little bit better. A little bit more emotionally resonant. The death of a partner and just the questions why and maybe blaming oneself and all of that. It's pretty good. Let's move on to the one which I thought was a fair bit better. in episode 11. Fantastic opener to this episode, right? Which is the sleeping mountain. We just look off into the distance and see a mountain with an unnatural giant hole through the middle to the point where you can just see the sky on the other side. Like, that's obviously not meant to be like that way. That's like it's unfathomable, and it speaks to this missing piece of the ecosystem of the mountain, I guess. And I guess I'll blow my load now. This is the most Monogatari episode thus far. There's been a huge thing in Monogatari about, I guess, the possession of like that shrine and the mountain and the god in control there and who has been placed there, and, you know, do we entrust it to this being over here or this being over here or this person here or whatever's going on, right? Like, that was a huge part of the mystery and the story there. This is obviously building kind of from that same mythos. And yeah, just this idea of, I guess, this spiritual seat in a lot of ways remaining dormant. I feel like that's a connective tissue between both Monogatari and Mushishi. And again, I'm dancing around a lot of the Monogatari stuff, but Kuchinawa involved there too. Absolutely. Big white snake, big serpent guy. Big involved. For sure. We hear these like ominous drum beats as well. This is a thing that'll permeate throughout the episode, and it's this omen of this thing that's coming, this thing that's being summoned. And kind of Ginkgo can't quite put it together yet, but when he does, he realizes what they're doing. Ginkgo, in kind of faux investigating the mountain, happens upon this village where they're all deep in conversation about what to do. We've been told not to go on the mountain. Mujika has said so. Mujika Dono. Then another different Mushishi shows up and he says he wants to go have a look. What should we do? There's scattered whispers in the room. Great sense of tension and mystery early here. And again, now knowing the story, it's easy to put the pieces into place. Like, they trust this guy a lot, and Mujika almost doesn't want them on the mountain for other reasons too. Because again, Mujika's he's about to peace out. He wants a little bit of peace and quiet as he does so. Our mission here is to find him. We kind of pick up his apprentice Mushishi along the way. Again, he's been very important to protecting the town and whatnot. He's kind of dug in his roots here, for better or for worse. And he's deeply important to, I guess, quelling the mountain. Few other important things here. There's always been a guardian on the mountain. Mujika Dono is the only person who understands the guardian's wishes. Buddy, that guardian died a very, very long time ago, and Mujika has been forced to atone and stand in that guardian's place, before again, finally in this episode, kind of letting go and moving over guardianship to somebody else. It's this convenient lie that the guardian's still there, and that he's the only one that can kind of interface with it, that's, you know, holding this thing all together. Once again, Mujika can almost feel himself dying here too. Like, he's pretty old, he's an older guy. He almost needs to put a plan in place to protect the village in the long term as well. Absolutely gorgeous backgrounds across this episode too. As I said in the reaction, autumnal, the colors are just fucking awesome. Just in general, this show is a great view into the beauty of the Japanese countryside and, you know, the landscape. All right, it's pretty. It's very, very pretty. I like the outdoors. I like nature. I like going for a good hike. So I'm resonating with it. It's good. So again, in searching for Mujika, we've sent people to the mountain. They've kind of, you know, been sick and unwell after returning and after going up, so we're like, okay, that must be the curse of whatever's going on here and blah 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 blah. In reality, it's just all this kind of Mushi energy causing people to feel a little bit more ill. The path of a light vein, it's a place where the river of life runs through. Moreover, it's harvest time. Even in ordinary mountains, life energy will increase, i.e. that's why you don't come up the mountain at harvest time, because it's this big fucking torrent of life energy coming up, and that's gonna fuck with ya. Remember, don't touch the damn river. We've been through this. And again, that's probably what gives this mountain, in general, its significance, is that it's on this vein, right? It's on this vein of almost like the land and the earth, you know? It's a particularly potent and important spot that needs guardianship and protection. Again, like the earth itself, like the land itself is an organism. Again, almost these symbolizing the veins of the land too, you know, these branches. It's all interconnected, you know. So then Ginkgo's like, okay, if this is a path of the light vein thing, then there should be a Guardian, but it's obviously acting fucking weird because there must have been like a Guardian switchover or something. Either way, the Mushishi here will know. Mujika will know. Let's go find him. From there on the mountain, we find Unconscious Boy. Unconscious Boy is Mujika's apprentice, right? Kind of the next Mushishi of the town. Again, Mushika's pretty old. He's aware of his mortality. He's aware he's going to pass on. He's trying to pass the baton on to somebody else, onto the younger generation. But clearly, again, your abilities aren't quite there yet. You still get kind of bewildered and overwhelmed by the sheer force of the energy, especially at harvest time. Nice little bit of comedy here. We give him something that's quite bitter, like some kind of seed or something, I'd imagine. And he immediately bites down on it, and he's like, "Oh, this sucks." It's like, no, you're supposed to do it when you're feeling dizzy to keep you awake. It's meant to like stimulate your senses and stuff. You shouldn't have just bitten on it. Come on, what are you doing? Ooh, love the touches in this episode. Ginkgo slips his shoes off, again, to like almost like feel his soles on the kind of soil, on the land, on the mountain itself, right? And then he's going to do like a Mugura Nori, I believe he called it, where he's going to bury his consciousness in the veins of the mountain and find somebody, right? It's like this locating technique that is pretty high level advanced Mushishi stuff. You wouldn't know about it, kid. Once again, speaking to this concept of an interconnected land with the environment, with the trees, with the everything, they're all kind of the veins feeding this one kind of overall system and organism. I name-checked the one episode of Avatar The Last Airbender, which had like the exact same concept, essentially, right? Where you could like feel the kind of vines in the swamp as kind of veins too, and you can use it to locate a way out, use it to see the overall image, use it to kind of zoom out from this organism that we're in and pinpoint the actual overall location. Really, really cool. Yeah, look at I don't like them though. They're very handsy. They grab on you very quickly. And then because he's a Mushishi, he senses this too, and he turns and looks, and he's like, nah, fuck off. I don't want you to see this shit. And he almost like shuts them out. Yeah, great shot of the eyes there. Fantastic. So that's when, again, like Ginkgo's like super suspicious now. He's like, why the fuck did you stop me? You got something to hide, don't you? Either way, we still use that technique to find him. We know whereabouts he is now. Let's go question him some more. Here's another thing. Love his hat. Little kind of grass on top, little bit of accoutrement, just kind of spread about there. I don't know, it's very becoming of a Mushishi. It's a cool character design detail. You could draw this guy in 20 episodes time and still remember what Mujika looked like, I guess, with the hat and the little extra stuffs. Once again, we also hear that kind of drum, that deep kind of thumb, that bell sound, as we describe it. Kuchinawa is on his way. So then we find him. He'd taken a little tumble, a little slip. We'll unpack that a little bit more later. And Ginkgo is super suspicious. Look at him there. He's like, I know what you're up to. I've always thought of this mountain as my own backyard, but to have slipped here, I must be getting old, aware of his own mortality, aware that he may not have as much time left, aware that he may be currently summoning something that's going to take him away for good, and he's just going to die. Touching the apprentice as he's doing it. Yeah, it's all just great. And then, we get his ass, right? It's time for me to relieve myself of my duties. And then Ginkgo's like, yeah, you're the fucking guardian of the mountain, you piece of shit. The only one that can rip a Mugura Mushi off an invader is the guardian themselves. You're the reason why the mountain's been fucking weird. Probably the reason for the big kind of hole in the mountain earlier and whatnot. This kind of vacuum that we've had there, right? This vacuum of power that needs to be kind of fulfilled. And all of this was because he's getting old. It means that I'm going to need to pass this off to somebody else pretty soon. Obviously, I don't want to pass this off to little apprentice over here. I'd rather pass it off to, I'd rather not trap another human the same way that I'd been entrapped in this role for that time. He's a apprentice Mushishi. He should go off and experience the rest of the world like you, Ginkgo, and travel and stuff. I almost want to pass it on to somebody else like that isn't human. And again, once again, emphasizing this, like, I'm too old for this shit. Like, the reason why I can't hold this all together is because my form is almost like failing me. It's really interesting because he's like, shit, what am I going to do now? I've been so like kind of linked into this role for such a time. Like, I need to figure out a future end quickly. We tell a little bit of a white lie here as well. Hey, there used to be a proper guardian here, but a villager killed it by accident. Again, not really saying your role in it, I guess. Again, you didn't choose to do it, but if people weren't connected to you, then they wouldn't have done it, I guess. It's a weird one. I was a traveling Mushishi in the past, but I kept stopping by this village rather frequently. I saw the villagers in trouble and decided to become the guardian. It's almost like your repeated visits to the village overall is almost what caused this attachment by that person, and their little ploy to get you to stay. Yeah. It's almost like you kept returning too much. It's almost like you wanted to settle down. You wanted to plant those roots here, and this was almost like the result of that. That's another cool one too. It's almost like Mushishi's almost doomed to wander. This whole village just seems kind of fucked. We're killing guardians, we're having way too many kids. I don't know. That's when we're talking about our little friend, the apprentice, who was an abandoned child on the mountain. Again, it's almost like he was born of the mountain. It's almost like this is his destiny to always be here, and that he'd maintain his sure footing on such a place. So yeah, him being like the runt of the litter's an interesting one too. Just like, oh, we found Mountain Baby, he's back. Once again, it's like this child has been destined or preordained into this role. Thus is his connection to the light vein, to the mountain, to all that other kind of stuff. Kuchinawa coming through here is almost like giving him the freedom not to be trapped in this role. You know? Does that make any sense? Like, hey, I almost lament the fact that I've been here this whole time. This kid's got his whole life ahead of him. He shouldn't be forced to dig in his roots to this one place forever immediately. He should at least see the rest of the world. Another big ringing of the bell, another beating of the jungle drum there. He's on his way. And then we discuss, wandering versus laying down roots. And yeah, we get a little bit of an admission here and a little bit of lore for Ginkgo. I like it whenever we get a little sprinkle of this kind of stuff. He's never laid down roots anywhere. He's never settled down because he can't. He would attract Mushi. He would bring problems to whatever area he settles down within. He's almost forced to be a rolling tumbleweed in that way and continuously just move around and spread whatever energy and force is along with me. That's almost my curse, that I can't ever settle down, And you're almost the same way. You must be magnetic to these things too. So you should never have really settled down. What happened there? There's more to the story. I get the feeling that we're both a little bit jealous of each other. Me as the guardian, I'm jealous of you that I can't continue to wander and see the rest of the world. And I'm sure that Ginkgo's jealous of somebody that can actually forge a genuine connection with some people and, settle down in the one place and gain that sense of familiarity with the land. We want to mix there almost, The next day, we tell little Jimmy here, the apprentice, to go back down to town and not return until the restriction period's over. The apprentice showing a genuine level of care and concern for Mujika. Don't overdo it. Don't fall again. No one will come up to save you if you do. Just caution and worry and stuff. The audience could kind of feel it now, but it's the last meeting between these two. Yeah, there's some significance there for sure. A nice little pat on the back. You're on track to be one hell of a Mushi-Shi. So then we return back down to the village safely. We're sleeping, just kind of taking a night before I move on again. And I keep hearing that drum, keep hearing that bell. Really wanted to highlight this shot here. This, it's a Kubrick-esque, isn't it? The zoom there, look at the background. Just really cool, eh? It's this great horror tension to it, like something big's coming. Feels like this monster movie, like, Godzilla's approaching, or that kind of thing. And then a lot happens very quickly, so bear with me, I'll explain. We come out, and Ginkgo kind of verifies that the sound's weird because the kid also hears the sound and nobody else can. So okay, must be some Mushi shit. Sure. From there, Ginkgo starts to ask some questions, which now make sense in context, right? It's like, hey, has he shown you how to become guardian yet? And he knows nothing about it, the apprentice. He's like, I don't know what that is. What do you mean? Where again, Mujika seems on his last legs. If you're going to be the apprentice to actually take that role, then you would have learnt this stuff already, or at least the concept would have been introduced to you. The concept also is taking on board that Mugura Mushi, which is like the veins of the mountain type stuff we were doing before. If you take that and tame it, you can kind of control the unusual energy of the mountain overall as well. I know nothing about that, which is weird. It means that he must have somebody else in line to be the guardian after he passes away. And then the bells are linked into that. It's all just coming together. It's brilliant. It's great. And then almost making the same decision that Mujika has made around the kid, he's like, well, no, it's nothing you need to worry about. Go to bed. I'm just going to have a nice little midnight stroll. And then as soon as the kid's out of sight, I'm booking it up the mountain to see whatever the hell's going on up there. Just once again, very protective of him, not wanting him to get involved in any of this stuff. However, is overly too, suspicious about it and attracts him regardless. Again, it's almost like I'm this magnet for mysterious goings on. And there's this, connection there. I don't know, once again, Monogatari is giving me, Oshino Meme a little bit. Now, specifically here, Kuchinawa just means serpent, right? It's just like snake. Or like white snake or whatever. Is it? So do I just attach all the kind of cultural significance of snakes into that they're kind of shady and a little bit evil sometimes and kind of temptation and all that other kind of stuff? Or is there more to a story there? Is there an actual fable that I should be aware of? I don't know. Either way, we're pretty scared of it. We describe it as something terrible. And yeah, we finally track down Mujika. He's on the summit. He's in the middle of summoning such a terrible beast. And there it is. All that time, you were beckoning a Kuchinawa, right? You were never injured. You were just kind of trying to bring in this new, different Mushi to be the guardian. A Kuchinawa is described as a Mushi that eats other Mushi and other guardians, right? It's kind of like all-consuming and greedy almost, right? It's kind of evil, meant to like take the seat of another and supersede it and whatnot, right? Thinking to the Monogatari episode, that's kind of what happens there too in a cool way. So cool. Anyway, enough Monogatari. It also brings stability to the land. Like, this is what this guy's concerned about. I'm going to die. I'm going to need something here to continue to make this thing all work right. I honestly don't care if it's some evil motherfucker, as long as it's not my little mate Jimmy over there, the apprentice, and it maintains stability and, the harvest is all good and everything, then we're fine, right? I'm happy enough with that. Of course, this is also seen as a sacrifice, a self-sacrifice for the ongoing stability of the land. I'm almost giving up myself as the guardian, being eaten by this thing, in order to, again, ensure its going concernedness, ensure that everything's going to be okay. Ginkgo fucking hates that shit. He hates self-sacrifice. He wants you to continue to live on regardless and face whatever challenges you may have. Now, the frustrating thing here for Ginkgo, and we'll come around to it by the very end, he couldn't see another path here. Maybe the sacrifice was the only path for this, Also, just wanted to shout this art out again. It's probably going to be the thumbnail. It's the most striking image over the 2 episodes. Looks fucking awesome. Also, look at this. That's like the stuff on his hat. That's like the Guardian shit, Yo, this is sick. Ginkgo's straight into action here, obviously not wanting you to sacrifice yourself. You keep saying it's too late regardless. And again, here's that line. You said you were envious of me being this wandering kind of person, right? But you have the affections of this entire village. You're important to them, much like Adashino is to his people, right? This kind of genuine care and connection that has been made between people. I feel like I've never been able to have that, and I'm envious of you. Why would you throw that all away here at this time? You can't just decide to die all by yourself. Great sense of tension here as kind of Ginkgo gets the Mugura Nori going, and then Kuchinawa appears, slithers up the mountain. However, it's too late. Kuchinawa's there. Love this moment. Love the silence of it. Kind of Kodama there yelling out, and then he turns around, one last look, and then just fades away. That's fucking awesome. That's so sick. And yeah, upon his death, we get the rest of the story here. And I'll be brief, but essentially he was a Mushishi. He often came past these parts, and he had a little bit of a relationship going on with this Saku. And the village keeps thinking he's kind of chill, and especially the village chief, Saku's his sister. It's like, hey, why don't you actually just stay here? you're well liked, you take care of the mountain. Why not just settle down, you know? And here's that line again. I have the tendency to draw out Mushi. That's why I can never settle down, you know? If I do settle down, then I'll make everybody else's life around me even worse. And it's almost like this role of the guardian is taking upon that cross. If I have to settle down, then I need to have some burden with me as well, to almost keep that ability in check. And that's when he says it, there's only one way I could ever live here, and that's for me to kill and eat the guardian, or the mountain guardian, and take its place. Well, Saku's going to do the killing part, you're going to do the eating part, buddy. Let's make a big old hot pot. Great sense of dread and tension here, right? Because we're definitely indicating that Saku's about to do some shit, and then it's like, oh, here she is. She's covered in blood. She's committed this sin. It's time for you to atone for it, you know? Because again, you'll have the Mugura Nori in you as well. You'll have that ability, and you can almost supersede this kind of, you know, how you draw out Mushi, you can almost like push the Mushi away with this ability now. So, hey, I want to be with you. I want to like force you into this. Here you go. I've killed the Guardian. It's either you leave and everything's fucked, or you stay and you know, become the Guardian here. Now, I think you die quite early too, because we say that you've been dead for quite a while. My wife's been dead. It's like blood pact between these two. Yo, this episode has sauce. It's fucking good. Oh, and I love the framing device for that dream sequence too. It's the fleeting connection between kind of the mountain and Ginkgo and Mujika as he dies. It's like this final last memory, this last explanation of why things are the way they are. And as Ginkgo comes to, he realizes he was kind of sharing this dream. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And yeah, Kuchinowa ate him good. He ate him good. Like, nobody remembers him unless you're on the mountain during that time. So Ginkgo remembers him, and the apprentice remembers him, but nobody else does. He's like doomed to obscurity. He did his job, and he'll never be remembered for doing his job. It sucks, but it's a sacrifice he was willing to make to ensure stability upon his death, and almost to save the apprentice from falling into that same guardian role and being trapped almost, you know. Also, this kid, he made like a good Mushi repellent and stuff. He'll go places. He's pretty switched on. So hey, maybe we do have faith for him to navigate this whole Kuchinawa thing, or to move on, or to do anything else. I don't know, he seems like he's okay. I like that it was all for this kid too, in a lot of ways, to not kind of, to not force him into having to do this, to give him his own life and his own freedom. And again, he now has this responsibility for the town, but not the mountain. The mountain's done for. The mountain has a big old snake on it. And yeah, this was that scene I was talking about before. Thinking back to his line before, there must be some other way. There must be something else we could do. Ginkgo's now thinking here, right? He was right. There was no other way. What was the other thing that we could have done there? There was an original sin, and we're atoning for it. And that, now that that's done, it's all kind of reset. We put some evil fucking snake on the mountain, but it's what needed to happen. There was no other way, you know? What a majestic being, and it couldn't care less what humans think. Right, Kuchinowa? There he is. He's fucking cool, man. Yeah, scratch that. This is 100% gonna be the thumbnail. 100%. This episode's so sick. It's so cool. Oh, I think this is the best episode thus far. Just awesome. Awesome. Love the ones with the bad ends. Think it's a fucking cool looking episode. Just the whole reveal there of the information towards this kind of like last 5 minutes is fucking really good. And just the way it makes you feel towards the end. You're like in awe of this giant thing that's going to sit up there. Doesn't care less. It's got some power now. Just we're going to let him be. We're going to let him be, I guess. I don't know. Happy ending, I guess. Something like that. Sure. I don't know, man. This show's something else. God, this episode shits on episode 10, though. It's crazy. Anyway, we'll leave that there. Next week, there'll be a couple more. Please look forward to it. Like the video, subscribe, Patreon if you want to see that next week 2-episode video. It'll be up there, ready to go, I'm sure. Actually, no, it won't. I'll be away. I forgot to say that. Yeah, I'll be away, probably. There probably won't be any video. So yeah, that's sucky, but whatever. Either way, I'll see you when I see you. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Ciao.